Welcome back everyone, Ronin here. Alright, so it's been a bit since I've recorded this game. May not seem like it because some of the videos are scheduled, but it's been requested to do a bit of the character customization stuff and crafting stuff, which I usually take out because I always feel like it's boring to me. So I always just skip over it, I do it on my own time, and then we go on with fighting and the missions and the story. But here goes. So if you have anything specific, do ask in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer. I'll just brush over what I think is important, and we'll go from there. So you have your characters. I believe you can get 50. I could be wrong. That's the new system for this version. Now you have your main character, your hero, which will be whatever you want. I think it's Ramza. No, Ramza's Final Fantasy Tactics. I forget his real name. Let's say Ronin. And you can reorganize however you want, which is nice. You can do a manual sort, so the people I do use more often, I can bring to the front. Something like that. Alright, my dragon. Okay. I believe it's a row of... can I renumber them? Change ID numbers. Reassign number IDs. There we go. 10. So yes, 10 per row. So that would be my first 10 to bring in the fight, and then 2 more that I don't know where they are right now just by looking at them. Let's cover... Wow, there's a lot to cover actually. So these are just basically your stats. I don't know what in-depth they do, but I think Dex and Agility are pretty high in importance. I'm pretty sure Dex affects your damage output. Yeah, it does affect your damage output and how often you hit. So Dex is a pretty important one. Your classes have a big thing to do with that, your level, your gear, but also in combat you can find cards that you can pick up. Just learn which ones they are. There's only 2 that you shouldn't grab. I think it's Death and Devil card. Those reduce your luck. Your luck is not really shown on here, nor is your loyalty. The only way you can tell for your loyalty, I'm not sure where you can tell for your luck, but is going for the name. So your main character can't leave. And then Canopus says, this unit supports you in all things. That means his loyalty is really high. Bayan, yeah, he's not very friendly. So that's how you know the loyalty. I've only had 1 person leave, and he's threatened to leave before. So give them the loyalty cards, and should be fine. I think the character that left, it was more or less based on decisions in the story quest, which will... hopefully be able to get her back at some point with the Wheel of Fate, which is a new addition, which is pretty cool, which we won't cover in this video. Anyway, equipment. Let's do that. Pretty much most characters can equip whatever weapon for the most part. Almost whatever weapon. It's a bad example. He's the Lord now. He's your main character upgraded to a Lord. So you can see that you can equip a lot of weapons, not all. And it'll show you, if you push... It says square. For me, I'm using an Xbox controller, so it's X. It'll show you here who can equip these things with the quick reference with classes. Let's go to swords. So it shows me, highlighted in yellow, that Canopus cannot equip this as this class. That just goes with your stats. You can look on the right. You have a sword, which is melee attack. The bow is ranged. Cane is magical. Then you have a shield. That's your defensive properties for that. Resistance, I think, is the only stat that protects you from magic, which pretty much almost everybody except for the archer is in the same range. And the ninja, okay, well, these guys are at different levels, so, and not wearing anything, so they're all in the 100 range. A lot of this has to do with also the cards I've been grabbing. Equipment, anyway. So you basically have to pick a weapon type. And I would say stick with it and have a variety of weapons in your group. The main reason for that, and I'll show you in the skills after. Ranged weapons, same thing. You have blowguns. I don't really use them, but I thought they were pretty weak in the beginning. They come with like a side effect. You can scroll here. There's 3 menus if you push the square button. So blowgun +1. Actually, it's not that big a deal. And it's stats. So this would do more damage, I believe, to lizards. I don't know that one. Umbra, which I think is undead. Yeah, because it's Boulder. And this is golems. Golems, more damage to them. I think you have to have a straight line of sight. Bows can shoot over your allies. Yeah, it's my favorite weapon type for ranged weapons. because the range is insane, and the higher you are, the further you can shoot your arrows. So height advantage is a big one. If you're at lower height advantage, you can't shoot too high up. Crossbows can shoot pretty high up. It's the opposite, but they have to shoot within their range. You can't try to shoot outside its range. It just won't work, and you have to have direct line of sight, or you can hit your allies in the back. Same with pistols. You can hit people in the back. I found the range kind of weird. 4 to 7. Commander's gun, hey? Fusiliers. Okay, I don't have one of those yet. And thrown. At first, I thought the lobber was really bad. I was like, oof, what's the point of this? Kind of turns your class into a chemist. So this would be a really good for a support class that you want to throw some mana potions to your mages so they can keep shooting their fireballs. You know, that's about it. There's other items you can get that do a lot of damage to an AoE area. It's like a bow. You can shoot over your allies, and you can probably sneak in an extra tile depending on your height, maybe 2 tiles extra. I didn't really try the other ones. They just didn't seem worth it because you actually use them. But I'm not sure. You might get it back at the end of the fight. Maybe. You can see that you only have 5 slots. Well, 4 plus accessory. Everybody has 4 plus accessory. So it's up to you to choose. You want to use a shield, you know, for the other hand, boots. Then you don't get a chest piece. Like, he's not wearing a chest piece. Apparently that's the best gear for him. But if you were to use a 2-handed weapon, 2 hand slots, so left, right, let's say, or left, right, whichever. Then you get 2 slots for armor, which is kind of weird. You should have like maybe more than that. And so head, chest, arms, pants. So take a pick. Now you can get different accessories. They have, like, this one gives me hammers +2, which is why I went with hammers for them. It does more damage. That's the skill. Then you have stats. Oh wow, no wonder. It does boosted damage to resistance. So I'm more resistant to all these attacks from that ring. I did not know that. That's why that ring is really good. Anyway, check these things, because it could be important to your decision of what you're gonna wear. One more thing would be beasts. As far as I know, beasts cannot equip anything. There's no weapons that I've found that are for beasts. Maybe I are wrong. But you can equip a ring, so may as well give them a really good one. But it's got good attack defense for where I am right now. I should be crafting more, but I'll talk about the crafting a bit after. Alright, 12 minutes already. Holy shit. Magic, 6 elementals. Then you have Divine, which is holy and dark. And then Ninjutsu, war dances. And there's dragon magic in there, but I don't think I have a single dragon magic spell. And I'm almost at the end of the game. Pick an element and stick with it, is my best guess. And if anything, if you're gonna use multiple mages, I would also probably err on the side that use the same one. Now, it may not make sense, but you'll see in the skills portion of this why. Inventory, bunch of items, sundries, all your items, cards, everything you collect, all your... Yeah, let's go classes first. So you can go to change class depending on what's available for everyone. It's gonna show you, like for Canopus, he's only allowed to have these for choice. It's better because in the original version he had no change class. He was a Vartan, whatever it was. Actually, I knew him as Canopus. I didn't know him as a Vartan in the original. Now that class is his hero class, and since the beginning of the game I've only gotten 3 change cards, which means if I were to change him right now, let's save this. If I were to change class, I can make him, which you probably benefit from, like archery skills, I don't know, other skills. I can change class, change his gear. Although he changed to an archer, something he was wearing didn't match with this class. He would actually get a better bow from that. His damage would go up, and he'd be able to learn new skills based on this class. Now, those skills might not carry over, and probably don't carry over. I've never switched them over. Now I can learn, let's say, double shot. I couldn't learn that before as his base class. Let's see if... Because, I mean, I'll make enough points with him. And if I were to switch him back... Now, he can be a Beast Tamer, Rune Fencer, Cleric, Wizard, Archer, Warrior. If I was going to change him, it's either Archer or Warrior. That's it. I wouldn't really... I mean, you could be a Cleric. But he's so good as the Vartan class that I usually keep the hero classes to what they are. So now that I changed class, I used one of those cards. If I ran out of cards, I wouldn't be able to switch back to that class, which can be dangerous, especially for hero cards. Skills. Can I get double shot? No, I cannot. It's restricted to archers only, so there's no point in doing this. Load state. So that would be for him. Now your main character could be whatever he wants. Any class you unlock, he can be it. I think Terror Knight is one of the classes I wanted, along with Swordmaster. Those are two classes I liked in the original. Now for the Terror Knight, does it say you have to have killed, I'm gonna say 50 enemies for it to be a thing. It might be less. The thing is, they have to outright die. They can't just be knocked out and then you finish the map. That doesn't count as a kill. You have to wait 3 turns for them to die to become a Terror Knight. Pretty sure it's the same way as Final Fantasy Tactics. Now leveling is different. Your character doesn't level, the class they are using does. So this is where it becomes pretty annoying. If you use the same class with multiple people, they level at a different rate than the rest of your group. What ends up happening, especially for me, what was annoying is that I leveled my hero and made him, I believe, a knight right away. I knew he had to be tougher because there are some fights that you're gonna be doing by yourself, and a mage is just not gonna cut it. You want a knight, maybe Berserker, something that's physically strong early game. And then I switched him to a Terror Knight. Well, as a Terror Knight, he started at level 1. He had to switch. I had to level him back, so he was useless for, let's say, 20 fights, probably more. And then he caught up. And then I unlocked Swordmaster. So I made him a Swordmaster and made him climb all the way up, level being pretty much useless. Now he's a Lord, and again, I had to redo his leveling from 1 till... Now he's 23. He's caught up with everybody. I think my max is 25, maybe 26, 25. At a 2-level difference, he's still useful. Plus, he's got good gear. Leveling is not like Final Fantasy Tactics. So you don't level one class to then turn into a different class. You unlock them as you play through the storyline. Once you unlock those classes, then they become available to everybody. Lord is kind of a, I don't know if you can call it like Onion Knight. He's like a jack of all trades. And he can equip anything. He can be a mage. He can basically do anything he wants. I can't show you that now. You can equip almost anything, any skill. You build him the way you want to build him. But when you go to skills and you go to learn, he doesn't have much available. This is all he has available. So you have to leave the class, learn them from other classes, and then he can pretty much equip anything. Let's see. Okay, he can't equip Sanguine Assault. I believe it's just locked only for Berserker. So things that are very character or class specific, he can't use. You build him that way. So you have to leave that class. So I'm waiting for all my other classes to level up because I want to learn more skills. But if you see, I only have 4 cards. I can only do the switch back 4 times. So I'm gonna wait till all my classes are at a level I'm comfortable, probably in the 30s. Leave the class, learn as many skills as I can, and come back. So I'm trying to hold off on buying any points with him. So he's now at 4,000 points anyway. But some skills are costing me 1,000 now to learn. So you have your basics. So warrior, archer, mage, wizard, pretty self-explanatory. Archers are pretty OP, and they do a lot of damage to mostly everything. It's the highest single target damage character I've seen so far. And the fact that they don't move very far is not a big deal because the range is insane. I think it's up to 8 with the siege bow, which makes wizards kind of bad because you need mana. So you have to start the fight using a potion to get your mana to then go and do damage. So on the first turn, you really can't attack. And if you run out of mana, well, you're kind of SOL. You're not doing any damage anywhere close to an archer. The exception being beasts. I found that against beasts, the wizard is where it starts to shine. Characters that have really high armor is where the wizard can, become better than an archer. The only thing is you don't have any finishing moves that I've noticed, at least so far. So we're still not hung up on it. I would carry maybe 1 wizard. Try to avoid using more than 2 archers I consider Canopus being kind of an archer, how I have him right now, with a bow. Mainly because the game's going to become a bit too easy. And then the level is going to be out of sync. So I have my archer, I have one, and I have one Vartan. To me, that's enough. Some characters, like him, Bayan, if you're not sure, if you're new to the game, and you see that when you change class, because he's not the same color as other mages, he stays dressed as a mage. What it used to be is that was his like hero class for him. Now, I don't think it works that way now, because the stats still are pretty on par with another archer. I don't have anything equipped though. But his stat growth is based off being a mage, I believe. So 106, 102, 116. He's not far off to somebody that's been an archer the whole game. And she's been collecting cards. He's been collecting a few here and there. So just know that some characters, I feel, I could be wrong, but based off the previous Ogre Battle games, he kind of belongs as a mage. You can make everybody whatever they want. If they have a hero class, though, I would suggest keeping that hero class, because they're going to be better. I think that class should be better than a basic knight, for example. Like Murden. Mildane's his name in the original. You can make him a knight, but I'm pretty sure his white knight is going to be better off, hands down. So if you want a Terror Knight, there is a hero that fills that gap, that void. One thing that's cool though is if you get a new hero class and you've been using a mage the whole time, they won't come at level 1. They'll come at whatever level that is. So that's why you want to have multiple classes leveling and not keep them all lower level, so you can use them as soon as you get them. Now, in order to do that though, I'm using a lot of the lower end classes. Like she's a warrior right now, because I still want to level that class to get the benefits of having that class for certain skills that I can use on multiple characters. If there are any. I'm not sure. I think there are, but... So because I wanted things to be diversified, I might make her a knight later, but I think she comes as a warrior. I kept her that way for now. She's doing pretty good, even though she's essentially a squire. Then you have her sisters. There's 4 of them. She comes as a cleric, so she took that role for me. And it used to be Siren, but now it's called Witch for the Warlock class. The Warlock uses dragon magic. They're essentially can be the same, but I think the dragon magic I haven't unlocked yet, so I haven't really gotten full benefits out of that yet. But I am using one character of each to level them off evenly. Now Valkyrie, not a fan. The only reason I like it right now is because I have a good spear. In the previous games in the series, Valkyries used spears, and to me it made it, because the animation was different when the character used a proper weapon in that class when I used to play the original version. So Spear Wielder, it's pretty good. It's a 3 range. You have your knights. They can actually heal, so they're more like paladins in this game, which I don't think they could heal in the previous version. Terror Knights, I would say it's just a more aggressive knight right now. The difference would be that before, it used to have an aura about it that would weaken the enemies. Now they've removed that in this game, and I think it has to be a skill that you use. It's no longer passive, so it's not as good as I remembered it to be. Berserker, I like it. It's a lot stronger. It's like a soldier that instead, when you branch off to become a knight, being more armored, you become more more aggressive. So you lose the armor, heavy armor. You take more damage, but you dish out more damage, and you can actually AoE, I believe, in melee. Not bad. Swordmaster used to be pretty much the same as Ninja. Now it's different. It's more like a samurai, I believe. I haven't really played it too much. You get some dances that you get to boost your group with. But I think the spells are expensive. You need a reagent to use them. Dragoon used to be a fighter that can actually use a few spells. I think you can still use a few spells. Same with the Valkyrie. The way it works for the magic spells, I wouldn't recommend. I'd recommend specialize in one and not be a jack of all trades. Ninja has some spells. I liked it better before. Now I feel like it's a bit weaker. It does deal a lot of damage though. It's pretty good, and it's a fast moving class, but I feel like it gets hit a lot. So you have to rely on dodge tanking for this one, or you die really quickly. In the original, it was the same thing. Either you got hit and died one shot, or you just didn't get hit at all. So you're hoping for never getting hit. In this version, though, you have 3 hearts. So if you do die in combat, it's not permadeath like it used to be. So that's a big plus. I don't think you can replenish them. I'm not sure about that yet. It depends on the Wheel of Fate. But permadeath is a thing. It's just you have a bit of leeway. And it's not automatic. You have time. You have 3 turns to resurrect them. Rogue's the new class. Apparently it's really strong if you manage to get some backstabs in there. It's like it's a rogue. Like a thief. Actually, it is like it's just a brigand as well. Right? Or is that it? Anywho, we'll just talk about rogue right now. So it can do a lot of damage. I just haven't leveled it yet. It uses daggers. Probably the same line as ninja, just dodge tanking. Just don't want to take too much damage. That's weird. The stats are different for ninjas than every other class. You lose your strength and you lose your dex. Fusilier, I haven't used it. It's the only class I can use guns right now. I find that guns are maybe underpowered compared to the archer, so I haven't really touched it yet. Beast Tamer, I liked it before. Same as the Terror Knight, you used to have an aura that boosted beasts, but beasts were kind of useless in the original. In this one, they seem to be pretty good, but the Beast Tamer lost his ability to boost beasts unless you use an active skill, so not as good. Same with the Dragoon. Used to be the class you would use to kill beasts and dragons, but it looks like they removed that ability and you now have to use an active skill. It's no longer a passive. The Shaman, it's for the 4 sisters, but I don't think they should all be Shamans because here it just says adept at wielding elemental magic. I like the idea. I'm not sure what the stat growth is like because it's level 1. It's hard to compare right now. Just got it. I'm hoping I get more. I ended up doing the 6, that's 30 missions. So it's 5 per fortress. And then they became red, so I'm guessing I can go back and get more. That I'm not sure about the new Shaman class. I just unlocked it before making the video. So, you get SP by fighting in maps. Usually I get about 100 per map. Depending, the fortress was giving me like 20, which was brutal. And like almost no XP. But I think I got a lot of gold out of it. The way you would build your class really depends on how you want to play that class. They give you a bunch of skills that are available for that class. Let's use Canopus for a sec. He gets to use daggers, fists, axes, hammers, and cudgels, which are staffs. Bows and crossbows, thrown. But no swords, no two-handed swords, no hammers is the same. That's about it, no swords. Nothing that cuts except for daggers. Kind of goes with the old way that they were in the original Ogre battle, which was clubs. And then you get to pick, so this is where the Dragoon would have shined in the past. Now you use Draconology, which is against dragons. So you do more damage to dragons and your chance to recruit them is higher. So if you plan on recruiting a dragon, but you still need a skill that allows you to recruit a dragon. So that's way down the list. What you have to look at though is rank. So earlier I said you have to pick a weapon and kind of stick with it. If you look at rank, it says 1 and the XP is 0.0. It goes to 100 and it's really slow to get points. Really slow. I've been using a bow since the beginning and he's at level 8. To give contrast, I've been using hammers for a really long time since he was a Terror Knight and he's only at 4. And that boosts your damage output and it unlocks a finishing move. The finishing moves do a lot of damage. You kind of want them. Your goal is to get to at least rank 2 for a weapon. A lot of the skills are hard to level. Let's say anatomy. I've had this since the beginning of the game. We're now near the end. And I've been fighting a variety of enemies. Because I'm not always fighting humans, this skill doesn't always go up. So unless you know what mob you're farming, then I just like to have anatomy, because usually it's mostly humans, I think. But same goes with all the other skills. They're barely leveled. Nothing has gone really up. For a character who's been in every single fight. Same with him. Like, anatomy's, sure, at 2. Like, there's a lot of ranks to go still, and it's just not going up. Now, those that don't have rank. So the same goes with spells. You want to pick a spell, and then you want to augment it. Where is it? See, augment Earth. So if you're going to be a mage, you lose out automatically on 2 slots. Which I guess you could argue that a warrior loses out for a weapon slot, so it's only fair. But if you're not going to use, let's say, Earth and then augment it, then there's really no point because you want the strongest mage possible. For example, she's been using Earth skills for quite a while now. I've used her, let's say, 30, 40 missions. And she's not even rank 3. She probably started at rank 2 for her Augment Earth. She doesn't have anything else. Oh wait, she has Darkness at 2. She started at 2. So it's really slow. I have Bayan? I'd like to buy in, please. Same thing. Barely past 2. I had Voice. At some point I used him. I think he has Fire. So don't use multiple skills. Still, he just scraped 2. He was there at the beginning. Then he got replaced by Bayan. So at the top you see command skills. Those are skills that are going to give you a command in the menu. Then you have support skills. Those are passives. And then action skills are skills that you have to use in combat using TP, so technical points. So how you want to build your character really depends. There's a huge list. You just have to go over it and look at what it does on top and see if it's going to be a skill that ranks up or if it's a skill like, let's say, counterattack. So early game you're going to get counterattack and it's 25% of the normal damage. I found it pretty useless. And then you have counterattack 2, which at level 12 is now 50%. So you have to learn another one. And then 3, 75% becomes, reasonable. But under that, it's pretty bad. And then you have 4. I don't think it goes to 5. Originally in the base game, whenever you attacked in melee, it was an automatic counterattack. Now it's not like that. So all the classes are kind of bare bones. And you pick how that class interacts. Like knockbacks, I only knock back when I crit. With this, you'd have a higher chance of knocking back. And that's important because there's a lot of maps with instant death falls. Same with Fortify. Fortify is essentially what I think a knight would have in the base game. But this, everyone can have it. And you basically, just build your class like that with using passives. True Strikes to make sure you boost your melee accuracy. I don't need it on that because it's melee accuracy. So I don't know why I learned it. I don't use melee with him. But you get the idea. If you want to be more mage, Spell Strike. I was using Constitution for a while, 30% more HP, but I found some characters just aren't dying, so I'm taking it off. Give you a quick example. Swift Foot takes a while to get, but it's a must, I would say, so you can move faster in combat. Some of your characters are just so slow. You want the mobility and jumping. That's why Canopus is so great. He can fly, so height doesn't matter for him. Trajectory. I stopped using it because I have a good idea of where my shots are going to land. If you're not sure if you can make that shot, use Trajectory. It's going to give you a line that's going to show you where your character is and where the arrow is going to go, or crossbow or bolt. If you're not sure if you can make the shot, just use this and you'll know right away if the shot's landing or not, which is useful. It's a cheap skill, but it takes away a slot. Eventually, I just replace it with more damage. Now, I could be wrong. Don't use this as a concrete example, but if you look right now, I have my 10 skills. So counterattack 3, I probably should remove this. He doesn't get attacked much anyway, so it's kind of a waste. But with a bow, he actually counterattacks with his bow. Some dodge, so he doesn't get hit too often. I probably would remove that because he doesn't get melee too often. Field Alchemy, I think, is important so you can use items. I think this is what makes beasts less desirable, is just the fact they can't use items. What makes beasts great in this one is they also have this system. And you can build them just the same way as you would build another character. But again, you don't get alchemy. You get some more skills. You don't have weapon skills. So you have to waste a slot to get, let's say, Corpse Breath 2. All these Toxic Breath. All these are linked to the class Dark Dragon. I like it. It's nice. Like, this is increase move by 3, but it costs you technical points, and it will add to your recovery time. 25 to your recovery time that turn. That's a lot. That's why I don't like the the active skills because they cost you recovery time. I was considering getting Siege because Rampart, at the beginning I was thought like, oh, Rampart's a joke. It prevents your characters from moving past the knight or whoever has Rampart. But with Siege, I'd be able to move right past it, which is great because it counters it. Problem is it reduces my move by 1, so I'd have to get a move +1 for this class, which I don't know if I get unless I use dash. But anyway, and the cool thing is now that I have 1 dragon, if I really want to, I can have them all. All I'm missing is the ice dragon. I'm not sure if it's linked this way. Dragons didn't used to evolve, I don't think, originally. I only ever used a white dragon. Now I have the dark one. I don't have another one. I have... This doesn't have a class. Fairies have a class now. Some of the monsters you want to get, you're going to want to get them from the element. Let's say you see a golem. Well, you see an iron golem or a different one that you can recruit. You're going to have to recruit it and then level it up from scratch. The nice thing is you can sell these beasts. I think that should be it. All the information you've seen. If you have any questions, do ask. And I'll do my best to answer. So one thing that's good about leveling beasts is you can go to the shop and auction them off if you need the money. It won't tell me how much I'm going to make off of it though. This is a long-winded video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully it answers all the questions you guys asked about. Ask some more. I mean, I got time. So we're going to move on straight into the shop / crafting in the next video. Cheers, everyone.